Welcome to the season of self-love, your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. I'm your host, NmW&x, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Naomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and embrace the power of self-love? Or have you come to the right place? Each day we'll dive into topics that will empower and inspire you on your journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthy relationships, boost your confidence, or find balance in your life, this podcast is here to support your every step on the way. We believe that self-love is the foundation of living a fulfilled and joyful life. And together we explore practical tips, insightful interviews, and transformative stories that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated. So join me Monday through Friday as we embark on this daily adventure of self-love. Tune into the Season of Self-Love podcast to start your day on a positive note and discover the limitless potential within yourself.
I can't hear you. I couldn't hear you when you first came on. You didn't have your voice. Yeah. Okay. You look good though. You're saying, I was like, ooh, she's saying some good words. I was like, ooh, say it. I was like, say it, yes. I was like, speaking to me. I was like, yes, talk to me.
So that whole spiel in the beginning wasn't even there.
Nope, not there.
Mm-mm. All right, so I'm gonna do it right now. All right, my beautiful people, welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, NmW&x here, and I am with the multi-talented, the smart and intelligent, our resident doctor, Dr. Will.
I'm so happy to be here. And I'm glad I can hear you. You sound wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I was saying some good stuff. Well, today we're talking about cultivating positive support system and surrounding yourself with empowering people. So let me say this. I'm gonna be a little candid with this. So, and I'm gonna tell you. So first, let me say this, Dr. Will. When speaking to my audience, I kind of be real raw and uncut with it. So I kind of, explain to them some of the ins and outs of my life, as well as when I'm doing this program. So even when I have bloopers, I will allow them and let them know, because this is real. This is life. This is what this is.
It's live.
So right, it's right. And so when Dr. Will came on, and I think we spoke a little bit about this last week when he came on, and I was like, well, I have a few topics, and I want to send you over to the topics that, in whatever topics you want to, come on with me. I'm, you're more than welcome to come on. And so when he chose this topic, now in my mind, I thought you was going to choose either tapping into the inner.
Yeah. I wanted that one. I wanted that one. That was hard for me.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna tap in that, but when you chose this topic, I was like, I said, I don't know, I might make this his show. Like, I've seriously said that because I truly want to know, coming from a health psychologist, to really know, coming from that different aspect, knowing that when we in life, it's about our relationships and our surroundings with different people, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, especially for me, as I continue to grow, as I continue to embrace and know my true self, those circles around me have become smaller. You understand what I'm saying? They become smaller. And honestly, they become more intentional, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I was like, wow. I was like, do I come and I speak, excuse me, and I say anything, or do I pass the baton over to him? Because now I'm in the seat of a student that I want to know what, I want to know. I want to know truly how you will take it, not only coming from, from you being a health psychologist, but also through the holistic point of view. But I want to know, and not that I'm tired of talking, but it's like, because I want to know.
You're, but I'm also going to acknowledge the fact that you say some things that have to make me go back into my books and make me go back into my theory. That made me make sure, like, okay, did I make my theory right? Did I make the model that I created? I have to go back and be like, oh, I can adjust this paragraph because of what you just said. So that's why I can't listen to all your episodes, because I might change my whole model. So I have to have a little bit of ignorance to make sure I'm successful still, just to keep it real with you. So yeah, so I gotta humble that real quick for myself. So yeah, I don't count yourself out on this. Please
Now,
don't.
I'm not, but when I say this, like truly, especially and I'm about to be very candid once again, especially in the past years, I've seen a lot of relationships, and even me trying to go into relationships, group relationships, has been very I'm trying to choose the word to say, not scary, but apprehensive. Very
Mm,
apprehensive. So even when I'm a part of these different, Facebook groups and different groups like that, and even with some of my good girlfriends that have, surroundings of group of people, I'm very apprehensive of going into those groups now.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and
yeah.
I don't know if that because I've deemed myself as being very sensitive energetically,
Mm,
that before I was able to hide because I had a mask on, that I was able to hide.
mm.
And when I say this, I don't want to say disapproval, but that's what it was. But it's more like, I don't think I care for this person because there's something about that person that just, do you understand? You understand what I'm saying by that?
I understand what you're saying. I do, and I'll be real with you. Being on this show has not only given me the professional opportunity, but it gave me the personal space to just be a little more frank with not only myself, but just the truth about what's really happening.
Mhm,
And I don't want any of your viewers to listen to me and know that I didn't give everything of who I am in that,
mhm, mhm.
right? And I can be forward and transparent
Right.
and still show love at the same time. And a lot of people have to choose one or the other many times in their life,
Yeah.
but you can choose both. You can be hard and soft at the same time. You can choose to be, keep it real and still use the words of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can still
Yeah.
do that. That can still happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I love this topic that we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be very open today. Very open.
Ready for it. I'm ready for it. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break and then when we come back, because today we are talking about cultivating positive support systems and surrounding yourself with positive and empowering people. All right. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. All right. It's your girl, the goddess, NmW&x here on the Season of Self Love podcast. And we'll be right back. All right, my sexy people. Are you ready to be inspired and motivated to create the life of your dreams? Then mark your calendars for February 15th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap, we are back live and with an incredible guest. So get ready to meet Mo, the goddess, a lifestyle coach, entrepreneur, and the author of the captivating book, Permission to Power. You won't want to miss this captivating conversation as Mo, the goddess, dives deep into her personal journey, revealing the challenges she has overcome, the lessons she's learned, and the breakthroughs that transformed her life. So mark your calendars for February 15th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and join us live for an unforgettable episode of Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and discover the power within you to create the life that you deserve. So don't miss this opportunity to gain valuable insights from Mo, the goddess herself. Tune in to Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast live on February 15th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You definitely don't want to miss. All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess, NmW&x here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And today we're talking about cultivating a positive support system surrounding yourself with empowering people. And we always start off this show with a guided breathing exercise, and I usually always do it, right? But since we have Bill here, I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch over to him because he does such a great job. Such a great job. Am I putting it on a little thick right now? I'm putting it on a little thick. Right now.
A little bit. I can breathe. I'm trying to breathe right now, but it's getting.
But yes, I will. I should have asked you this before we got on, but I'm
always ready when you're here. I'm always ready when you're here. I'm gonna stay ready with you.
That's what I like. Always stay ready with me. I like that.
Yes. Of course.
I like that. All right, so let's begin.
So let's make sure we're all comfortable. If all the viewers are just sitting there, and just make sure you're relaxed, make sure you're comfortable. Adjust your seat if you need to. Allow your forehead to loosen, your eyebrows to lower. Allow your cheekbones to soften. Allow your jaw to come loose. Allow your neck to feel calm. Allow your shoulders to feel relaxed. Allow your back to just straighten a little bit. Allow your chest to expand. Allow your stomach to loosen, just relax. Allow your legs to loosen. Allow your thighs to relax. Allow your calves, stretch them out a little bit. Roll your ankles. Just allow yourself to feel grounded. And when you breathe in, I want you to think about the word good. When you breathe out, I want you to think about the word enough. Because you are good enough. You are here. You are good enough. You are here. You are good enough. You are here. Allow those words to cover your body, cover your spirit, and know that you've done everything you needed to do. Be here today. Because you deserve to be here. Good enough. This is the feeling of owning your wellness, your goodness, and doing just enough to make it today. And as you come back, allow your legs to grow, allow your thighs to stay growing, allow your stomach to grow, allow your chest to grow, allow your shoulders to grow, allow your neck to grow, allow your jaw to grow, your eyes, your mind. Allow your body to grow in this awareness. And know that you're here to listen. Don't do anything else but just listen and invest who you are. You are good enough. Will they come back as you open your gaze?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, so if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast and you're wondering what's going on, we do this every Monday through Friday. We do a nice breathing exercise to help ground us and center us before we start off with our topic for the day. And speaking on our topic for today, we're talking about cultivating a positive support system, surrounding yourself with empowering people. And that was the magnificent Dr. Will that was giving us that. And that felt so good. It really did. It helped ground me. So sometimes I like being in the passenger seat and just.
I like to be a fan, right? Just be an audience member. Yeah.
So that was good. So I thank you so much.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, I thank you so much. And as I said before the break, when Dr. Will decided this was one of the shows that he wanted to jump onto, I knew I was like, okay, I really have to listen and hear what this man has to say about this. Because I look, I am, what do you call it? I am a process. No, what is it? What is that word? That scripture that they say all the time? And I
Mm.
don't even like it, but I'm gonna say it today when I remember it. I'm a work in progress. That's it.
Work in progress. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
work in progress. And it's like, you don't like that saying. No, I don't like that saying. Let me tell you why I don't like that saying. I don't like that saying because usually people that say I'm a work in progress has not a goddamn thing for the work. I'm just being very honest.
Usually when people I know that do say that, I'm like going talking about Rolodex of types of people. I'm like, ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
mm, ooh, I can't say that anymore. I can't say that anymore.
See? Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, very not accountable. They're very non-reliant. Very
Right.
unreliable people. Mm, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, but when you think about that, and that's another thing that you're going to learn about me is that it's a lot of sayings that I typically don't agree with, or that was the beginning of my whys. That was the beginning of my why. But why is that? And I see a lot of them that are very contradictory.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. That's we're gonna talk about that today too. So your timing is always on time. Yeah, yeah, your timing is always on time. This is gonna be good. Hmm. Yeah.
All right. So our first segment is about understanding the power of a positive support system. And as a positive support system is more than just a circle of friends, or it's a network of empowering individuals who inspire and uplift us. So let's discuss the benefits of such a system and how it influences our personal growth and emotional well being. My empowering relationships are characterized by mutual respect, understanding, and encouragement. And they challenge us to be our best selves and provide a safety net during our times of struggles. So, this is one of my questions for you, Dr. Will. How can one identify the key qualities or traits of empowering individuals to include in their support system?
That's a very very thick question because for you to be considered a support system, we gotta break that all the way down.
I like breaking it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna start from. Should I start from the bottom or from the top?
Whichever what for you makes you comfortable.
Let's start from the bottom. So the awareness can become greater as we go on. So when I think about support systems, I have to first understand that what do I need support in? A lot of us want people to help us. Some people want us to do it all for us. Some people want us to give them the resources, right? So when I say a support system, I have to understand that there are things about me that I have to be vulnerable enough to know that I am weak enough. I am a chair with 3 legs,
Mm,
or I might be a chair with 2 legs, or I might be a chair with 1 leg. I have to understand how am I not holding myself up? Because a
mm,
lot of times when you try to get support systems, you are having them be in places that you were actually supposed to be in the first place.
mm,
So I want to hold the accountability on myself first before I start asking for support systems. And the thing about support systems is that the events and circumstances that happen will change what type of support system you actually need. So this is such a big topic, Naomi. And so when I think about, we're gonna start with just relationships, right? So we start with acquaintances. Acquaintances are people that they're the familiar faces, right? They're familiar faces, and that's what that is. Friends are people that have a relationship to you because of something mutually beneficial. So, oh, we were in school together, or oh, we hit on a gig together, or oh yeah, so it's friends that you share a common interest. And so because of the common interest or the likeliness or the compatibility that you share, you have a sense of companionship.
mm,
Um, then you have best friends, those that you kind of allow yourself to be more vulnerable with. You allow the little deeper parts of you that may aren't as presented on the public realm. They may have more access to your privileges, right? And then you have the obligationers, right? The obligationers are people that they're around you because of obligation. There's something that's tying you together, but it's not really. If that thing wasn't there, then you probably wouldn't actually ever have known them. So I'm with you because we're obligated because of this thing that's tying us together. There's usually something tying us together to make this relationship meaningful. And then you have the family, right? Because we're taught that family is our support system. We're taught that family is enough in our support system. Family is what we need for our support. That comes in all shapes and sizes, right? Not all one cousin is built the same. So we all have different types of cousins, right? And then you have this support system, which is they hit every spectrum of all of these. And it's not about what you go through. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about you're good, bad, or you're ugly. It's about who you are. Mm-hmm. They believe in the person and not what you're doing, and know what you're doing for them. Usually these are the people that they show up in your darkest hour. They show up when you are misguiding yourself. They're the ones that make you emotionally sober, right? When you're making decisions, they come in and they say the thing that you're not ready to hear, or they say the thing, or they try to guide you in the way that may feel like oppositional, but they're not talking about anything else other than the thing that you're actually living. The support systems that I know and talk about, they are the people that are willing to look beyond the moment or the situation or the circumstance and to understand that the core values of who you are worth loving, seeing, respecting, and managing with. These are the people, I call them steel buddies, where, we think of metal put to fire. That metal gets put to fire. And what happens? If it's impurities in the metal, what does it do? It crumbles, it breaks. Mm-hmm. But pure metals turn to steel. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't expect my support system to crumble. But I do expect my friends, my acquaintances, my family, my best friends, my obligationers, I expect them to falter under the harshness of what life may happen. I expect them to have a fluidity, which means that I'm a little more forgiving when my best friends don't show up. I'm a little more okay with my family or friends not being there in my best moments and all my worst moments only, or when I have something to benefit, they're somehow there. I can't take that personal because I didn't expect them to be there. And so we talk about how, well, if you don't have expectations for people, you can never be disappointed. I hate that phrase because the truth is that now you're mentally creating this lack of expectation in your life, which means that you're not holding yourself to a standard, which means that you're not holding yourself to a consistency, which means you're not holding yourself to a livelihood of exceptional moments. I have to accept that I am amazing. I am awesome. I can be wrong and still be a good person. And so I have to understand that if I don't have my standard and I'm not willing to hold it, then that means that my acquaintances, my friends, my best friends, my obligationers, they can be technically in my support system, which that is where a lot of people are struggling with, is that you have some impurities in your support system because you haven't been honest about your own core values and how you look at what you need to feel stable. So I want to stop right there because we're going to get a little deeper after that. But I want to encapsulate, like, the support system are your steel buddies. They're the ones that they can put through the fire and they're going to make it through because of they know who they are. And we're going to visit like how do you define a support system person? We'll get into that, but I want to stop it there so that we understand that there are levels to this. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times in life, we just open the gate and let anybody kind of sit where they need to sit because you're just focused on what you're doing.
Right.
And the convenience is happening over the quality. Once again, convenience over quality is happening so often in our lives and our relationships that we forget what quality even means, which is why we're like, well, I don't expect anything from anybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would too if I had convenience always in my life. Mm-hmm. I'll take my time for the quality person. I'll be alone for a little bit if it means having quality. And that's a maturity that a lot of us don't get to have because we're always worrying about the next thing that might be happening. So that's a process in itself. That's a process. So I'm going to pause right there. Anything you want me to explain before I go into the next thing?
Yeah, you said something about emotional sober.
Yeah,
So,
emotionally
yeah.
sober. Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that is? Because I know one of my listeners probably already written this down already on their little paper, and they
Yeah.
will come into my DMs and ask me about that.
Yeah, yeah. This world is so saturated. The social media and the ability of access and the audacity of people thinking that they have access to you, right?
Mm,
There is this self-righteousness, and a lot of times we become so emotionally drunk thinking we have the power to change how other people think, feel, or act. And a lot of times when we're emotionally drunk, we're overbearing. We have bad boundaries. We are over rationalizing. We're hyper fixated on how people or other people are living their lives. We're so bent on being such a follower that we're actually afraid of what people might think when we actually lead within our own hearts. When you are emotionally drunk, you're not caring about how you show up for yourself, right?
mm,
And so when you're around a real support system, they remind you of the things that made you feel special about yourself. Because when you are emotionally drunk, you do not care or think about how you show up. You care about how you show up for other people. You're
mm.
so worried about how you show up for other people that you forgot who you were in the whole entire relationship. And then you get mad at them for them being who they've always been. You gotta sober up. You gotta become emotionally sober. You can't get mad at somebody for being who they've always been. They say trust them the first time. People don't trust people the first time. They believe the lie. Or they're like,
Mm,
oh, they look over it because of potential, because of something they want to get out of them. Because if you have ulterior motives, you are emotionally drunk. You
mm,
need to become emotionally sober. If you have a motive with somebody, if you are with somebody only because of they have this, or they're connected to this, or this, it's not going to last. It's not going to be steel. You need to become emotionally sober. And so I have friends of mine that I'll call them. I'll say, look, yo, man, I messed up. This is what I did. I'll say everything. And and they're like, okay. So who are you? I'm like, what you mean, who am I? I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm just going through the emotions. And they're like, but why are you hurting? I'm holding space for you right now. And so I let all that pass, and I realized I'm just hurt because I felt lonely. Uh,
mm,
emotional sobriety is when you can reach the baseline emotion of what you go through. You reach the baseline emotion of who you are, what you're experiencing. You can show anger all you want, but what it really is that you're sad,
mm,
right? It goes beyond the external expression and keeps the internal awareness present. That's what a great support system does in emotional sobriety.
okay. I like that. I do. That, yeah. Mm. I've been emotional drunk a lot.
like day one. Welcome to day one. We here right now. This is day one of sobriety. This is day one.
Oh, goodness. I like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I talk about reset. That's why I use the real reset. Remove every saturation,
Yeah.
embrace truth. That's an emotional sobriety statement I made. So because we're so saturated with how other people feel, how other people think about me, how other people may look at us, how other people may receive us. Sometimes you focus so much on how you're explaining something that you actually never say how you feel. Right?
Mm,
You've already
mm,
counted yourself out before you counted yourself in.
mm-hmm.
You took it. You walked into the ring with an L. Why is that?
Mm,
Did you walk into the ring already holding an L? Right. So that's not about what they did. It's the fact that what you already accepted.
mm-hmm.
We gotta get emotionally sober about this because your
Mm-hmm.
feelings are not allowing you to face what you're truly feeling. And so you're just willing to connect to everything outside of you. There's no internal reciprocity in this. There's
Mm,
no internal reciprocity.
yeah.
And we have to create that self-mastery so we can have the support systems we need to have. So that's what a great support system does. And the unique thing about it is that people that are truly your support system, they actually don't really want or need anything from you.
Mm-hmm.
They're really doing their own thing too. And then when you talk to them, it doesn't even matter what timeline you're in life. It's because we share the same core values. And so we speak a similar language. I already know your hardships because I know you're trying. I don't need to talk, I don't need to know your story. I am your story. You are my story. So when you talk to me, I'm talking to you. When I'm talking to you about something, you're speaking into me just as much. I feel your story because I am you. Those support systems are truly so essential to the next level of wellness. Can't get that. Like the first stage is like recognizing something's wrong. The second stage is using that holistic modality, right? And going through all those things and working on those things. And then that third one is when you finally grasp your purpose and then you can align with other people. So when we speak to each other, we speak a whole nother language. We sound different. We feel different. We touch different. We sit different, right? And people can walk around us and they can just see this energy revolving around us because we never stop locking eyes. That support system. Weakness is not weakness. Weakness is just a moment of awareness. Weakness is like, oh, hey, I'm weak right now. Okay, well, tell me what's wrong. There's no, they don't even give you a solution. That's the crazy thing. Some of my best support systems, they never give me the answer or the solution. What they did is help me see myself. They are my mirror buddies, right? My support systems are my mirror buddies, right? They hold the mirror up to me. I hold the mirror up to them. And honestly, it's the most humbling part about it is that even in one of my most darkest moments, I feel the highest. I understand who the people are, right? My friends remind me, right? And so the power of friendship is real. The power of friendship is real. And you have to truly cultivate and learn and manicure how this looks like for you. But you have to start learning who's a friend, who's an acquaintance, who's a best friend, who's an obligatory friend. Who are these people? And a lot of us, we never took the time out to recognize who are these people in our lives? And also, what am I really sitting on? What do I need support in? Because usually we're the ones that are messy before we get the real support system. A lot of us don't know how to ask for help because we get so disappointed. It's like, no, the problem was people don't know how to help you. People do know how to help you. The problem is that you don't know what to ask for. Do you know what you're asking for? And why are you asking to somebody you knew that didn't have the resource, the time, or the availability to do it? I'm not going to ask a homeless person to pay my mortgage. Why would I even, you wouldn't consider that?
I
Why would
see. I hear.
you see what I'm saying? So my thing is that there is this moment where we have to be realistic about how we have support in our lives before we start getting empowered by people that had nothing to actually support us with.
Yeah. You know, when you said that, and even at the end of it, and it's one thing is that we do. I know I do. I look around to my family members for support, and I did no more because I understand is that they were never not only equipped to even support me in what I was doing. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
they wasn't, but the thing is that we put our own perceptions of what we feel that people are. So even though we might see someone else,
Yes. Yeah.
like see potential in them, and so we kind of put on what we think they should be doing, with their lives or whatever like that. And so I know I'm guilty of this. I'm like, oh, you can do this, such and such. Come work with me and kind of try to show them that.
Yeah.
And they're like, I
Yeah.
really don't do that. Like, okay, but I'm going to do it because you've been
Mhm.
good. And you say, and then when they get in there, you be like, what is you doing? It's
Yeah. It's and I think that's the most humbling part is when like I would say I've been emotionally drunk and I was when I talk to my family or I talk to I'm like they say one thing and I'm like, let me create this entire kingdom of what you just said, and I create this whole thing and they're like, yeah, I just wanted to go to Dunkin' Donuts. I wasn't really trying to, I was like, okay, that's cool too. I gotta remind myself like I put an image out of,
Mhm,
of of all this possibility, and that's the
mhm.
thing about being a dreamer is that a dreamer will make any reality
And you
a
dream for
dream.
everybody.
Everybody, I'm like, Oh my gosh. I was like I literally went through a drive-through and I love the person's voice so much. I was like, "Have you ever thought about doing a show on wellness?" They're like, no, here's your order. Have a nice day." I'm like, "Okay, have a great day." It's like, oh, it's like we have to sometimes reel it back and understand that our support is usually the support that we need and we want. Bring it back. Bring
That
it
is
back.
so me. I promise you, I that is me. Like I would literally see the goodness out of. I see potential in
Mhm.
everybody, and I want that potential
Mhm.
to just ooh and just
Yeah, just
But yeah,
blossom.
yeah,
Mhm. That's so good. And then that empowering is a real thing, right? Like there's one thing about advocating, right? And
mm,
then there's supporting, but then when you empower people, you're empowering them to be something more than what they either didn't imagine,
yeah,
or you're empowering them to see something in themselves that they didn't know how to unlock. And
yeah.
so I do have a gift where I don't even tell anybody this. Wow. So So I have a gift where I can see the past, present, and future of somebody.
Mm, mhm,
And a lot of times I have trouble with my words because I can speak to your past. I can speak to your
mm,
future and I
mhm,
can speak to your present. And sometimes I may say something that's beyond when they are ready for, or I might bring something from the past into the present. Or I might even be able to look at them and realize that their trauma might be the thing that's tying their past and their future. And so they've erased their own present. And so I can look at them and I can do energy work where I can I can see who you're gonna be and what you're gonna be in
mhm,
5 years.
mhm,
And so it's I never told anybody this before.
mm,
Um, I told maybe 3 people in my life, and one was my family members. And I've used psychology as a way to naturally craft my gift.
yeah.
Um, and it's sad because the way that I empower people is by helping them get through themselves,
Mm,
right? And then once you get through yourself, what you do, then the first thing you naturally do is it's like a rebirth. You want to attach, right? As soon as
mhm,
a baby is born, right? Attach,
mhm,
right? And so I'm learning the power of attachment when it comes to empowering people because a support system has a balance to it. A
yeah,
positive support system has a balance. And if it comes imbalanced, you create attachments that aren't always positive to your identity. It's like once you taste that awareness, you want to keep it. You want to keep that feeling. And so what happens? You become emotionally drunk. You want to keep that feeling of feeling nurtured, feeling complete, feeling seen, feeling invested in, but you have to live it
right.
in
So for you,
in a positive.
how do
Mhm.
you detach? How do you detach when when it becomes that to where it's now
Mhm.
become that where it's toxic or
Yeah.
it's no longer aligned to with you? How do you detox? I mean, detach from it.
Yeah. So typically they want you to separate, right, and create space.
Hmm.
I don't believe that. You're
Mm,
supposed to fall into it because you're so worried about holding on to it that if you just let go, what did you learn when you let go? All you're doing is experiencing the fall and the letdown of everything. So my thing is that you're actually supposed to stay and be still with it. Don't chase it because what happens to memories, right? The brain chases the memory, right? The brain chases the memory. So your brain's already focused on chasing this feeling. You have to learn how to be still. Okay, I want to call them and text them, but why? But why? Before you do, why? What do you want from them?
mm-hmm,
Well, they're good. I mean, they're supportive. They always got this. I'm like, but what do you have? What do you have that can make you feel this way right now? Well, I don't have it. Do you not have it, or did you not take the time to recognize what you actually have?
mm.
What they made awake inside of you was something that you already had. So it's important to understand that different people unlock different versions of yourself. And that's why a positive support system can help you create that multiplicity or that versatility in you that you have. There's 10 to 15, 20 different types of Dr. Will in here. And my support system has different ways of unlocking those things. So my support system, I know what these certain friends are for. This person's going to help me realize this. This person's going to help me recognize this. This person's going to help me reach inside me for this. Other people can unlock other people. And that's why when I speak to you, you speak into me. When I speak to you, you speak in me. When you speak to me, I speak in you. And so when we're purposed people, we have to understand that the way we empower each other is by helping us see the different multiplicities of who we are.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah,
we be on it on a thing. Now, let's take a quick break and then come back. I mean, I know we just really we have no time limit over here. I need to have one, but like literally, yeah, like each segment that I kind of might have for timing. And but this was so good. It was. We're just gonna have to make a part 2 of this. We are just going to have to,
it's
make
heavy.
a part 2. And bring it back because truly, so even with creating the Season of Self-Love podcast, and it was all about, having an intimate relation with yourself so you can know and understand how not only how to love yourself, but also how to show others on how to love you or how to be around you. So it's all about us serving one another. So this topic right here that we're talking about is so very, very important. And even you just breaking down in these in the different friendship when like that's a whole topic on its own. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's a whole show on its own with that.
Yes.
So maybe we might have to come back and kind of break this whole thing down. I love to break it down. So we can just break it all the way down to where maybe next week or a week after next we come back with something else, but still geared towards this support system right here, because that's something
It's
that
so important.
we don't talk about, a lot. And as you said, like it took me a minute for those relationships to kind of move away. And it was because of me, because I was holding on to relationships that was truly outliving their seasons. So when you say is about falling into them, I'm going to be honest. I was looking at you like, I don't know about that. But then when I heard you say something, I said, but you know what? Those questions that I asked myself, why are you still allowing this person into your life when they've already showed you who they were? Do you think that you're going to change them? What is it that you're trying to get? And it wasn't for me. It's never what I'm getting out of a relationship.
Right.
To be honest, it's always what I can give into that person. A relationship is one thing that my mom taught me. She taught me to be more of a friend than a friend is to me. That's what she taught me, is to be more of a friend is to me. And that's what I've done with every single one of my friends, my family members, and all of that. But what I've learned from that, as well as me being like that, is that it had actually blocked a lot of me. I did a lot of damage to myself, and I can't blame them because it was things that I did that I did not know how to place my boundaries. I didn't know what boundaries were. You understand what I'm saying? Because it was never taught to me, or better yet, I misunderstood on what it meant to be being more of a friend than a friend is to me. Then if I look at it now, still you have to look at it, you're still your own friend. You're still your own friend, even through it all. So the things that would you do those same things to yourself as a friend? Meaning don't allow these things to happen to you. I can look at it so totally different now than, when my mom told me when I was younger. So I'm able to move very differently when it comes to it. I learned I would no longer outlive a season with a person. And the thing is that I could be blocking their blessings, or I can be blocking their growth. You understand what I'm saying? So it's never that it's that one side. It's that both sides of that is that we both outlive our relationship, whether it's friends, lovers, or whatever it was, those relationships have been, there's not a season. I've already learned what I was supposed to learn, and so have you in that time.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I
yes,
can't make
yes.
everybody, and that's what I was doing, trying to make
Mm,
everybody the season always.
yeah, yes. And I love that you said that, because a true positive support system, they're going to remind you. They're not going to be a lesson. They're going to remind you of all the lessons you did learn.
Hmm.
That's a true support system,
Hmm.
is that they're going to remind you of your why,
Hmm.
about why you're doing what you're doing, and they're going to empower you to live the how and why you're moving forward.
Hmm.
And that is something that support systems, they don't have to show up the same way every time too. And so there's a fluidity in that. And that is the trueness of true holistic healing, is gaining the power of your fluidity. That is, like, like I would tell people, the strongest gymnast isn't the most muscular, it's the most flexible one. And so, like,
Hmm.
you have to understand that your true support is coming from the flexibility and the awareness of what your friends can do for you, and also what you can do for them. That empowerment is so real. And you don't feel like you're costing to be around them. Like, you
Hmm.
shouldn't feel tired after being around your support system. Shouldn't feel tired about, "Ooh, okay, that's enough support system. That was a lot today. That's a lot of support system." Like,
Yeah.
no, it should feel endless. It should
Yeah.
feel
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back. And I just got to figure out where we're gonna go at with this show because we only got a few more minutes. We don't have that long, Dr. Will, just to talk. All right, it's your girl, you got us, Nami Banks, here on the Season of Self Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. William C. Washington, aka Dr. Will, your friendly neighborhood counselor. One of the biggest things that I want to tell you about is that I'm a health psychologist, a licensed professional clinical counselor supervisor, an MDMA assisted therapist, a ketamine assisted therapist, a psychedelic integration prep specialist. I'm a researcher, a mentor, a supervisor, and also an artist. One of the biggest things about Washington Wellness Institute is that I created this to modernize the way that we look into the world. And I hate to say it, but we're finally getting rid of the old ways of thinking. I want to bring in the silver age of psychology. And to do that, I've even created a model called restorative enhancement modality that focuses on motive and purpose to make healing a lifestyle. I want to offer this to you. I want to offer this to the world and to anyone that's ready to learn. So, if you're ready, sign up today. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, it's your girl, the goddess Nami Banks, here on this Season of Self Love podcast, and I'm here with Dr. Will. Are you tired? No.
I'm feeling supported right now and empowered. Supported and empowered.
So I was like, okay, where can I go? Let's finish with this. Let's just finish just right here with the understanding on what that support is and what it looks like. And I love how you broke everything down there. But also, I just want to ask this question, and you can kind of go with it further. How can someone differentiate between a genuine supporter and those who may have ulterior motives within their network? And you spoke a little bit about it, but I just want to just go a little deeper, kind of turn over
Yeah,
a stone or
yeah,
two.
yeah. Of course, get your purpose paper and purpose pen. 3 ways, right? The first way is, what does this cost? How much does it cost to be around this person? It doesn't have to be about money. It could be about mind, time, right? hmm You can't buy a peace of mind, right?
Mm-mm.
So, number 2 is, how how easy how easy do they make me feel to be around them? How easy to make it feel to be around them? Because a lot of times we are around people, and it takes a lot to make sure you navigate them, because you're like, oh no, they might be picky, or they might be this, they might be, you're creating a lot of precautions, a lot of preventative care to be around these people, right? It shouldn't be difficult to be around them. It shouldn't be difficult, right? And then the last one, how long does it take for them to get mad at me? How long does it take for them to get mad at you? So, I have a friend that I really want him to be my support system. He's a really good dude, smart, just brilliant guy. But if I don't talk to him in 2, 3 weeks, he always reminds me that I didn't do it. If you know my lifestyle and my schedule, I live by my calendar. If you could tell me to meet you at in 5 minutes, if you didn't put it on my calendar, I will not be there. It's not on my calendar. It didn't exist. And so it's important to know that your support system can never punish you for living the life that you have. They can't. And the thing is that if they take that time out to really recognize who you are, they wouldn't take offense to that. So it's really just about the third thing is just really about how do they take offense to who you are? Are they taking offense because of what you're not doing? Or are they taking offense because you're not being who you know you're supposed to be? How are they coming at you? Watch their language. Watch their language. Are they speaking at you or with you or for you? Right? There's 3 ways: at you, with you, or for you. At is that they're just speaking based upon their judgments. Speaking for you means that they're overlooking what you're going through. And then speaking with you is, I understand where we are at. I get you. They can recognize when you're not in your growth period, right? They can recognize when you're emotionally drunk. And they'd be like, okay, this is where we're at. I'm gonna hold space for you so you can sober out with me. And then we can talk about it. They have that moment. And so for me, if you want to be a support system for me, right? I need to know that you know how to hold space for me. I'm extremely intelligent. I'm extremely brilliant. I know how to think. I know how to feel. I'm extremely vulnerable and I'm very aware of myself. So I don't need you to tell me what to feel. I need you to be with me, right? And so for my support systems, what I need is somebody that has the emotional intelligence, that can hold space and can understand that my life is not the typical lifestyle in this world. I'm not asking for a lot, right? So for anybody that's trying to figure out theirs, what are the things you need from your support system? What do they need to realize about you? What are 3 things that they need to realize about you so that you can feel seen?
I like that. It's like giving someone your book of you.
Yes. Yes. And people, and some people will honor that, and some people won't even only read the cover. So
What you say? Don't even.
yeah. Some people only read it's just what it is. And I'm like, oh, that's a cover friend. Okay. Oh, this is a page friend. Well, this is a chapter friend. Like okay. Like I have my 3. I have mine separated out. I'm getting a lot better at that. And covers are just as cute. Covers are just as cute as the
Oh my God. No,
yeah.
I got to have the book. And I
Mhm.
have to give you my book and I have, to have the book.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just have to.
Mm.
I do. I just have to. And I believe it's a reason why of everything. And I guess that's the why. Um,
Mhm. I love it. But I gotta ask you though, when did you realize that they had to get the book?
After my first divorce.
Yeah. Oh my god.
After that first divorce, after the first divorce, and the funny thing is because even though I would say something, for some reason he would not believe me. He would not believe me. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm giving you the. He would not believe me.
Mhm.
So going into every other relationship after that, and even in the beautiful one that I am in now, here go my book, and
Mhm.
I'm giving it to you all. I'm giving you the real, raw, the uncut.
Mhm.
I'm giving it to you with me,
Mhm.
without no weed, without no context, without no
Mhm.
makeup. This is who I am. And the thing is that I
Mhm.
always say, but I'm working to get better at things. So
Mm.
the thing is, I learned from all of those old relationships that I've
Yeah.
had. I learned, and the thing
Mhm.
is, I looked at every relationship as a new relationship. That's one thing that I didn't do. I didn't bring the
Oh, that's
baggage.
beautiful.
from there to come here. But what I did, what I learned. And the thing is that I learned to appreciate who I was in the relationship with now, rather than go back and say,
Mm-hmm.
well, that remind me of that. Because if you stay like that, there's no growth
Mm-hmm.
for you, and there's no growth in your relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So for me, this is who I am, and this is what I'm looking to be. So you already
Mm-hmm.
have, some people say, no, you shouldn't do that. No, I want them to know, because I want them to have a choice on, do I want to go on that ride with her? Do I want to be a part of that book?
Yes.
See,
Yes.
before we wasn't giving each other a chance to have
Mm-hmm.
that, to know. You know what I mean? It was
Yes.
the time
Yes.
we talked about dating and being a representative. I used to do the representative in the beginning of my dating, but I no longer did that, representative anymore, because I
Mm-hmm.
did not want to go through all of those things that I had to go through before. It
Wow.
was tiring. It was just,
Yeah.
no, and
Yeah.
it did not allow me to grow as a person who I wanted to be for me, as well as my children, as well as whoever that I decide to be with in life. And I
Mm-hmm.
did not want to be a broken person in a relationship, being in a relationship, trying to heal that, part of the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So for me, in relationship wise, when it comes to lover, oh, I'm good in that. Now, when it comes to friendships and all that other, with those different things,
Yeah.
that's a total different thing.
Yeah, it's a total different energy, total
Yeah,
different mindset. And I
yeah,
tell people like empower autonomy, receive transparency. If I can
hmm,
empower the way you choose around me, I
hmm,
will receive the transparency that I needed. And a lot of us don't empower people's autonomy. And then,
hmm,
we don't know what we're really getting from them. We
yeah,
don't really know what to give. So like when you give that book, it's like I'm giving you every power to choose how you want to be with me. Show me who you are.
show me who you
Because
are.
yeah, show me who you are.
Yeah, show me who you are. Yeah. And in
Yeah.
the process too, let me say this, because it can be very, um, and this is when for me, this is what I knew, how much I've grown. Because even though I've given you the book, I cannot assume that every chapter in that book that you're gonna be okay. Hey, you understand what I'm saying? And so in the
Yeah, just because you
process
wrote
of
it doesn't
me,
mean it's okay.
right. So in the process of
Mhm.
me giving that book, through the years, I had to understand he might not like this chapter, and you have to be okay with that, understanding where
Mhm.
he's coming from it, and you know what I'm saying. And now you
Yeah.
have to readjust or adapt, not changing or who you are,
Mm.
but just adjust it, you know,
Yes. And
to
that's natural for a relationship, right? But
yeah,
that's natural. Like we have to adapt, we have to adjust, and we have to create those things. And a true support system will understand the
yeah,
power in that, the power
mhm,
in that adjustment.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Wow. Hmm.
yeah.
I love that answer. That was really amazing.
This was a great show, even though we only got to the first segment.
Right. We had to get to part one. Yeah. Yeah. That's but it's still good. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, this is a really, really great show. My listeners, I hope that you are all able to truly get something out of these conversations, because truly these are truly authentic conversations. I believe both myself and Dr. Will that when we sit here and we discuss these topics that we're talking about, you know, um, we're both coming from a very genuine and authentic space, truly. The only thing that I have to use is my experience, meaning that I don't care how many books I read, how research that I've done in life. I lived it. I
Mhm.
lived it. And that's why I push so hard for people to understand what self love is. And let's break it all the way down. Let's take it to what is that? What's that book? Self Love for the Dummies. That is not a book. That's not a
Yeah.
title of a book, but you know that series
Mhm.
of for the
Yeah.
Dummies. It's like, let's break it all
Mhm.
the way down. And that's why even this topic right here, I was, once again, I'm gonna go back. You chose this topic, and I thought you was gonna choose something else. And now we see that we have to go deeper into this. This is
It's so
probably
much
about
deeper.
6 or 7 different shows within this one topic. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, that we stop, and we lived in the moment instead of
Yes,
going fast forward on and skipping
exactly.
over. Yeah,
Exactly.
because maybe somebody need us to slow it down for them. You know what I'm saying?
They
Okay, now
do.
listen to them then. Okay, when next time it's coming on next week. All right, this So thank you. I thank you, Dr. Will, for
I'm
breaking
glad
it
we
down.
have the power to wear this. But
Huh?
I'm glad we have the awareness and have the power to say that we can slow this down, because most
Yeah.
people would be like, let's just rush through it. I'm like, no, no, no. Let's blossom together in this. And I'm so
Yes.
happy we can blossom together in this.
Yes. 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 This was good. This was good. This was
Mm-hmm.
good. This was truly, truly good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. It really was.
Yeah,
Again.
it was.
It was. I might have some more questions on the next one because I still got a little growing to do when it comes to support systems, so-called support systems.
Yeah, I love it. I'm telling you, it's real, and I want to get to the dark part of it all. So I can't wait to
Mm.
get to the negative part of the support systems, and because we have to go through that to get the positive ones.
Yes,
So we got to do it. We got to get a little dark about it.
yes. I'm right there with you. I'm ready. I'm right
Yeah,
with you, boy. I'm
I
right
got
there.
you. Look, I told you, I'm always ready for you. I mean, I would be prepared, but I'm ready when I'm with you. I'm ready with you always. I'm ready.
All right, my beautiful people. I really pray that you enjoy this show as much as we enjoyed the show. And like I said, I've got so many good tips and gems and all those things right here. And even though we only get a little part of it, I am so excited to share with you the next things that we have coming, especially when they're dealing with this in relationships, because we just do not understand with the power that we have within ourselves, but also how we show others. All right. All right. It's your girl, Goddess NmW&x here on the Season of Self Love podcast. And have a good one. Thank you for listening to the Season of Self Love podcast. If you have any questions or would like to connect with us, you can follow us on social media. Just search for the Season of Self Love on Instagram. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to email us at elevateme9999@gmail.com. And remember, you are worthy of love, growth, and happiness. So keep shining bright, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Season of Self-Love. Be good to one another and yourselves, and always keep it sexy. Send a light, love, and prayers.